Starting up a business involves decisions and payments. Most likely, the entrepreneurs will need to employ a labor for which they have to pay wages or salaries, the dynamics of which you have learned already. Entrepreneurs also need to obtain a loan for buying machines, softwares, etc., on which they will pay interest. They also need to find a suitable location and may need to pay rent on a piece of land. Finally, the entrepreneurs also have to live their life and feed their families. So, the remuneration for them is profit that firm earns. Let us spend some time in understanding interest, rent, and profit. These are the payments to capital, land, and entrepreneurship. A knowledge of these three payments, apart from wages, is critical for you to have holistic idea about running a business. Let us first discuss about interest. The word interest is used in two ways in economics. Sometimes it refers to the price for credit or loanable funds. For example, you borrow $100 from your friend for personal needs and a year later pays back your friend $110. The interest that you have paid in this transaction is $10. Interest can also refer to the return that capital earns as an input in the production process. A person who buys a machine, a capital good, for $1,000 and earns $100 a year by using the productive services of the machine is said to earn $100 interest or a 10% interest rate on the capital. In general, we refer to both the price for loanable funds and the return on capital goods as interest. Let us now nail down demand and supply of loanable funds to understand the price of these funds, which is represented by interest rate. The equilibrium interest rate or the price for loanable funds or credit is determined by the demand for and supply of loanable funds or credit. The demand for loanable funds is composed of the demand for consumption loans, the demand for investment loans, and government's demand for loanable funds to finance budget deficits by borrowing, demanding loanable funds in the loanable funds market. Obviously, the higher the interest rate, the higher is the cost for people to borrow, and hence the lower is the demand for loanable funds from them. The demand curve for loanable funds is downward sloping. As interest rate rises, consumers' cost of earlier availability of goods rises, and they reduce their borrowing. Also, as interest rates rise, some investment projects that would be profitable at a lower interest rate will no longer be profitable. Therefore, the interest rate and the quantity demanded of loanable funds are inversely related. Let us now see the supply of loanable funds. Basically, savers are people who consume less than their current income. Without savers, there would be no supply of loanable funds. The incentive for savers to supply their funds is to earn some money on it, instead of keeping it idle. Savers receive an interest rate for the use of their funds, and the amount of funds saved and loaned is directly related to the interest rate. Specifically, the supply curve of loanable funds is upward sloping. The higher is the interest rate, the more the money savers can earn by supplying their funds. As a result, the greater the quantity supplied of loanable funds. On the other hand, the lower the interest rate, the lesser the money savers can earn by supplying their funds. Hence, the lesser the quantity supplied by them of loanable funds. Exhibit illustrates the demand for and supply of loanable funds. The equilibrium interest rate occurs where the quantity demanded of loanable funds equals the quantity supplied of loanable funds.